I just moved in one of these 2 rooms.
We're documenting a destruction that we found last night.
I'll go up to the house, bang on it and say, I don't believe.
Yeah.
All right, well, how you guys feel?
I'm actually feeling really good.
I hate you.
How much sleep did you get?
I got actually in like an hour and 45 minutes. It was
Well, she
great.
went to bed early.
I went to bed. I actually went outside at 3:38 was the last time I looked at my phone. So
Oh my God.
We're all suffering from different degrees of sleep
Yeah.
deprivation.
a little bit.
You were already out in your car sleeping last night.
Yeah, well, what's up with that? I come into Jack and go, where's everybody at? Well, Paula already went to bed. I was like, where? Out in their car. I was going to come Jack with you a little bit, but I thought
I was
better
whip
not.
number 1.
It was just going to be a little power nap, you know, just, 15 minutes maybe, and then she was going to come back in.
No,
Didn't see her
she
till
didn't.
5
No
o'clock the
show.
next morning.
Well, we had a good time last night. Michelle and I actually, by 3 o'clock, we thought, well, the event where we were having it at the Ness County Bank Building in Ness City, Kansas, beautiful 4-story building, old bank from the 1880s. We did an investigation public event last night by 3 o'clock, and the board member, Isla, was actually going to be bringing us breakfast that morning, this morning, whatever day this is. So we just decided, oh, screw it, we're just going to stay up. And we had guests that stayed up with us and talked with us until breakfast came, and then they all took off, and then we didn't get to bed till like, what 11 this morning, so about 28 hours later.
Oh, so you've been to sleep. I haven't.
No, I had to take a nap. I couldn't.
Okay.
Otherwise, I'd still be up 30 some hours, 40. But this is Cryptic Heartland podcast. We are doing everything inside of a documented haunted location. It is an undisclosed location because it is a business. We do it here, so sometimes we have listeners who write into us that they are hearing stuff behind us and amongst us, or talking over us sometimes. So you never know what you might actually hear with us while we're doing it. But tonight we're gonna first off just kind of recap everything that we went through last night. It was a fun night. It was our first ever public event there at the Ness County Bank, and it was their first public event for this kind of thing. So they were excited. We were excited.
We had, about 30 people?
It was about 30 people, 30 guests. All the money went to the bank because they work off of donations to keep it going. So, you know, we love doing it. It was a lot of fun. Too.
Yeah, the history inside that building, if you, for the listeners out there, if you get an opportunity to go on to one of our websites and check out some of the videos that we have, it's just phenomenal. I mean, the walkways are what, 10 feet high?
Yeah.
And the entryways, when you walk through a door, they're like 10, 12 feet high. The windows don't stop. I mean, it's just, I thought it was awesome that the money went to,
yeah,
you know,
because
a
they're
good
needing
cause.
to restore the windows there and get a lot of other stuff worked on. The second, so you got the main floor, which is it started off as a bank back in the 1880s into the 1890s. It's had a print shop in there for the newspaper. It's had post office, offices, law offices inside, apartments.
Land and title
offices. It's also been a Masonic lodge up on the 3rd floor.
and apartments and the beauty salon.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the beauty
I
salon.
did too.
But there, I saw the sign last night. Actually, they had it up there.
Oh,
it wasn't
really?
up on the wall or anything. It was on the 2nd floor. The main floor, just an open area, still has the original vault from when it was a bank. We do have pictures tonight. I don't know if you'll have a chance to get those up or anything like that. But
I will try.
okay.
I will try.
But anyway, we're Everyday Legacy Paranormal, Road Trip Paranormal. We're on Facebook, and we were doing live streaming last night, and we have tons of photographs. We had a lot of guests that were posting pictures and following us and stuff like that last night, so it was a lot of fun. So if you want to see any of the videos or actually see the investigation live while we were doing it, we did a live stream on Facebook. Max, who is usually here too, helping out with the producing, he was there last night doing live streaming too. So we were full on last night. It was crazy. Everyone, everywhere.
Yeah, I'd really like to thank everybody that, you know, some people were traveling, 4 hours to come to that.
I think
place.
so.
Oh
Yeah.
wow, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
Nice.
When we were
Well, I mean, I know you
introducing
guys did, but
Yeah, when we were introducing ourselves last night, Jason had people hold up their hands, you know, from if they were outside of Wichita.
Yeah.
We had some people who were traveling 4 hours, so it was a great time.
Yeah.
And it was a sleepover. We had a big slumber party.
Yeah. We had it was an interesting atmosphere when it comes to temperature wise. The main level was good. It was air conditioned really well. 3rd floor air conditioned very well. 2nd floor not so much. It was basically a sauna all night long. But thank God the weather last night was not that bad. It was pretty decent. It could have been so much worse.
But you know what was
yesterday.
nice with the activity that we had going on up there on the 2nd floor? You know, after we started the rotation, they would come down. You never heard anybody just go, "Oh my God, it's so hot up there." I mean, they were having activity going on. It's
Yeah.
almost like they didn't really notice it.
They were actually ready to go for the next round.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Activity that we were having last night, it was I wouldn't say it was like heavy strong there, but at the same time, when it did happen, it was like, oh my God, did you hear that? You know, there's audible voices, there were shadows. Gentleman who was a guest last night who traveled out there with us, Rick, he caught a picture. I don't know if you guys saw it.
I did.
You did? Yeah. He caught a picture up on the 2nd floor. He said, I was going around, I wasn't taking pictures of any, if there's somebody in one of the rooms, I wasn't going to take a picture, I wasn't going to do that. So he was going to areas when there was nobody in the room, he snapped photos and snapped photos. One of them, standing in front of the window, you actually see a whole form of a person standing there in front of the window, silhouette, everything. Their head is turned like this.
Do you
a little
have
bit.
that?
I don't. He has it. I could always get it from him, probably.
It'd be nice if we could pull that up for everybody.
Right. I just wanted everybody to see it before we actually did that, but you know. But he did capture that, so we're still gonna look at that and see how it looks. But you know, I mean, there was stuff that people were catching last night
That's
and
great.
things that were happening. So
Especially when
I'm
you have
working on
guests.
getting the
Oh,
pictures
you're
you sent
fine.
me imported right now.
You're fine. We've got plenty of time. Yeah. All right. Well,
Yeah, I am.
gotcha.
Sorry.
I just saw that look on
I
your
thought
face.
she was falling over.
You got more sleep.
I
than
kind
me.
of got it to where you can't see the screen here. I was just trying to keep you out of the camera shot.
She was peeking over his shoulder.
That's why I was.
But last night we. So what was your favorite part about it?
You know, my favorite part is, you know, when you do a big, I mean, we do a lot of investigations, you know, whether it's business or somebody's house or, you know, somebody's land. And then there's always the Bigfoot stuff that you guys do. But, you know, if people are out there listening and you know anything about the paranormal activity, you know, when you get that many people into one area, it's tough.
Right.
You know, and so anytime, you know, you do a rotation and you come back down the stairs and that there's 30 people gathering and all they're doing is telling each other stories, and it's not to us, it's to other people. That's my favorite part, you know. I mean, I'd love to investigate, but I also love, you know, because we're doing our jobs. And it's tough, you know, it's completely different. You know, when you go into a business or somebody's home and investigate something, I mean, you're a babysitter, you're investigating, you got to keep people entertained, you've got, you know, I love it. I think it's great when you come down off the rotation and you walk in and everybody, nobody's just standing there like this, you know. They're
Last
just,
night, no, everyone
it
was.
was, that's my
interacting.
best, I
Yeah.
love that part of it.
Yeah. What about you?
I think I like to get to know people. I mean, we meet some really great people, and it's fun talking to the different people. Some of them are believers, some of them aren't. We've made believers out of some of them.
Yeah, I think so.
And
Yeah, because I know there's a couple times I was outside, I went and checked on people that were actually outside for the ones that smoke or were trying to get fresh air out there. And it's amazing how they
funny,
come up.
It's funny how he says smoking and fresh air at the same time.
Yeah,
Just saying.
'cause, you know. So, anyways, but what's nice is when people come up and that person hasn't talked to you at all, and they just come up and go, so, you know, I didn't believe in this stuff, but, you know, that was pretty amazing what happened on the second floor, and then you just strike up a conversation with everybody. So I like it. It's great.
I last night. What about you, Paula? Before I talk.
Oh, I think it was just fun that people got a chance to experience things that just made them question their beliefs or open their minds to the idea that, you know, the paranormal could actually be real.
Right.
Gave them something to go home and think about.
You know, and we'll probably get into this later, but I know one couple was, yeah, they definitely maybe got something more than they bargained for.
And the one downstairs.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
probably get into that.
I don't know
later.
if they were a couple. They were.
Yeah, Leo, the
Teenagers,
investigator, said that they were a couple.
Oh, were they? Okay.
And yeah, so we'll get into
I
that later.
I didn't
but-
do any rotation with them, but I just happened to walk upon the incident as it had just happened, so I saw their reactions to it. But I think my favorite part of last night was the fact that I sat at the monitor and I got to watch all of you guys
Overachiever.
and all the. Hey, it was on the second floor the whole time, sweating.
Yeah, you were
I
sweating.
was sweating over there by the elevator. There's no air on me. I got all the computers and the monitor on me, and I was just dripping sweat the whole time. I'm like, oh, this really sucks. But watching all you guys, you know, you're walking around, and it's funny when you guys hear something, or you go after something, because it's like, I just see like Max darting off this way, then Roth darting off that way. Paula all of a sudden is getting up and heading toward the kitchen, like looking around and stuff like that.
I think I was with you on that one. Like Paula got up off her
Yes,
his chair,
you were
and I think
you were
that was
watching
like
it.
right at like 2:30 in the
Because you and
morning.
Max are down on the
And all of a
level.
sudden she goes to the kitchen. You just see her, and you know we can't hear you, so all we can do is
We
see
just
you.
blew up the screen.
Yeah,
and
here
looked at
she's
it.
like getting up and they're
What
like,
are you looking at? You know?
and they're doing this. And they're like off, and then you see this, and then all of a sudden you see Max from nowhere, right there, and then he's going like this.
Well,
Actually, I saw a cupcake. I told Max.
yes, last night the board set up cupcakes and snacks all for us for a break. They're midway.
I missed that?
Yes.
Oh, they were wonderful.
It was locally made cupcakes. There's a bakery
White
there.
and chocolate, Jeremiah.
Yeah.
That's just
Oh, they
wrong.
frosted-
You should have just left me in the dark
frosting
on
was about
that.
that thick on top.
Okay.
Oh.
But they had like little paper ghosts for like a little holder that they did it for. It was just awesome. Now.
Settle down back there.
But, so we had that, but it was, and we had water and tea
And then she
coffee,
made,
and then she made
cinnamon rolls
for
this
everybody.
morning, and she brought them in. She heated them up in the microwave.
She showed up at 5:20 this morning with them. It was awesome. I don't know how she was wide awake and ready to go. The rest of us were dead.
Can I
Wait.
change my favorite part about it?
Yes.
The cupcakes, the cinnamon rolls.
And how you were all bubbly when you woke up. And but it was just fun to see how Isla and the board got into it too last night, and we're appreciative of us coming out, and, trying to do what we could to do fundraising for.
Yeah, and it was interesting too. Some of the board members were there, and it was my first time actually investigating the place, so I didn't have a history. I know you guys have been there a couple other times, but it was fascinating listening to some of the board members go back when they were a child, and the people that may have passed on in this building used to babysit. And so it was kind of fun listening to some of the board members actually say, well, ask if that's Margaret. And you're like, who's Margaret? Oh, she was a title clerk here and retired and passed on. And so just the history of the place and how you got to listen to the stories of, their childhood, and now they're in their 60s, and it was a good time.
Well, they saved that building because when they first started, they said that top floor was nothing but a pigeon house.
I can see that.
And they said it was horrendous. And look at all the work they have done.
Right. And they do it all on grants and donations too.
And I thought it was interesting, that second floor, they had the high school, what'd she say, the high school?
They do proms, they do graduations sometimes, they do, there's wedding receptions there. People rent it out for family reunions. You can rent it out for almost anything you want.
But the shop class came in and did the floor for them.
Yes, they
They've
did.
done a lot of work.
Second or third floor. Second floor.
Second floor.
Second floor.
So
Like
they're,
a project or something,
Yeah.
maybe for a grade or something.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
it is, it's bringing the
The-
whole community.
Yeah, Isla said that the town seems to love it, and that's what they need, is people to love the building, because it is a big cornerstone of the town. Centerpiece.
I just got a text from Max. He said to tell you to mention the audible voice on the second floor.
And,
Yes,
and
we've got a lot to tell. Absolutely.
and he said he loves cupcakes.
It's I try to stay away as best I could, but yes. So some of the things that happened last night, and if Cinda, who was one of the board members who helped last night to get things set up, if you're listening, just tune off, because I know you said you didn't want to hear any of this stuff, especially anything down around your office, down in the basement. So just tune off right now. Even though I think Isla said she was going to tell you anyway. So just watching you guys, I could tell that there's stuff happening up on the third floor. We didn't have a camera down in the basement because we were having technical difficulties with some wiring last night, trying to get cameras to actually come on, which I know frustrates the hell out of Leo with that. Because Leo is a big part of the team. He's the executive director of Everyday Legacy Paranormal. He's our technical support basically for all camera use and getting everything together. Not to mention he's got what we call Leo ears and everything, where he hears things that I'm like, what? I did not hear that, and it just seems to always be drawn around him too. Well, it was a rotation. I'll just start off with this one real quick. Won't say names of the guests or anything like that, but I was coming off rotation. I think it was the second rotation, right? Second rotation.
Yeah, second.
Am I losing you?
No, I was hearing something.
Can you hear
on the
something?
side of me.
Oh, we got the curtain open tonight. Might look at you.
Did
Hope it pinches you.
Did you hear that?
What, this?
No.
No.
Go ahead.
See, I didn't hear it.
I thought I heard someone say yeah when
That's
from
what
back
I
there
thought. That's why I was
when
looking
you
over,
mentioned that the
like,
curtain was open.
Interesting.
Should we close it or keep it open?
It's not in camera view, so we can do
Well, I'm just
whatever.
saying for the sake of the things that like to come visit us in that room. But anyway, so I know Leo was having some activity going on downstairs in the basement. The basement leads off to the gift shop that the bank has down there. It's ran by volunteers, Isla says, so everything there is done by volunteering. So it's really hard to get people to help out. So it's only open so many times. So, but we got a chance to go down there because the the very first time we were there, we were having activity down there. You had activity. Paula did. Paula and Leo only.
That's the gift shop, right?
Yeah, that's the gift shop down there. You're seeing Shadows first visit?
Lots of shadows. Yeah.
Okay.
And just shadows' voices.
Okay. So he radioed up to us saying, just give us a few more minutes down here. So just left. Brought everybody down from the upper floors so they can get some fresh air, especially off the second floor. And I was heading down toward the basement just to kind of check up on Leo and how everyone was doing, but I could hear them coming back toward the stairs to come up, but it sounded like a large commotion. Now, I didn't hear the scream. You said you did.
Yes, I heard the scream.
You heard the scream.
And it sounded like it was something off of, I don't know, those old
Horror movies?
Yeah,
Yeah.
where you pay that girl a lot of money to scream.
So what they had going on, they were just trying to get some things happening. So Leo had the ghost box down there. For anybody who's not familiar with the ghost box, it's just like a regular radio, AM radio that just changes channels really fast, and it's just white noise. And they were trying to get anything to come out of it. Now, if it happens over several channels, if it says a name or a sentence or anything like that, then it could possibly be something significant and real. Other than that, you just hear like little blurbs from a radio station. They were asking, can you name somebody in the room? And it says the gentleman's name, one of the guests who's standing right there. And Leo's like, oh, I don't think that's what you said. Tell me that name again. Who's with us? And it said the name again. And it said it a few more times. And Leo's like, can you name somebody else? And it named the female that's standing right next to the guy. So it was pretty significant that it bothered them a little bit.
It startled them pretty
Yeah, just by hearing their own name said. So they called it, and they were about ready to head out. So they're heading back from the gift shop on into the older part of the basement that leads up. And that right as the gentleman was walking through the doorway, he said he felt Leo hears a male voice that wasn't the other male voice right there, but as he hears a voice, and then about that time the guy screams, jumps back. I mean, he's basically shoved backwards and falls into the girl that had her name called, and those two collapse. They hit the ground. he actually felt like he was hit and pushed.
Wow.
Now, here we are telling everybody, it's a good place. No one's gonna get hurt. It's wonderful. There's nothing evil here, and then this happens. So I guess we shouldn't say that. But I mean, honestly, that place, there really isn't anything bad. But it almost like, I don't know if it was like picking or what, but he was hit. He fell backwards into the girl. They fall back. They both have an injury on the same location of the left arm, which is strange.
Did you get to see it?
I did.
Did
see.
it look like a scratch, or
It did. It looked like a little scratch. His was more prominent than hers because he had like a little blood mark right there.
Wow.
But they both came up the stairs very emotionally bothered by it.
Yeah, when I came down to the 3rd floor and got to the main level, they were in the corner just...
He was shaking.
he didn't look
Leo
so
and I
good.
went and talked to him for a while. Ultimately, they decided that they didn't want to stay any longer, which I don't blame them. So Leo he took him out. He talked to them for quite a while outside. We just told them to reach out to us if they had anything else going on. If they need to talk about, even if it's just talk about what just happened. We'd love to do it. It was a pretty, I don't know, it was just a very important moment that night that I feel like, okay, that's something we need to address the next time we're there. Now, because I don't know what the hell that was about.
Yeah, because it didn't sound like the questions that he was asking was being provoked in any way, which is that's something we don't do anyway. So, it was kind of strange to have that happen.
And what Leo told me, what he heard, and I'm telling Leo's story, sorry, Leo, if you're watching. He said he thought right before it happened, he heard like somebody run out and say, boo, which he thought was very, like, horseplay.
Okay. See, that's,
Like,
I remember on the radio, he radioed Cody and said, did you say
he
boo?
swore it sounded like Cody. And Cody was still upstairs. Cody was not anywhere near. Because he was thinking that Cody was snuck downstairs because Cody was on Leo's rotation. How we did the main level was 5 stay up here, 5 go down in the basement. That's how we had to split up that. So people had a chance to go to the basement. 30 minutes there, 30 minutes here. And then they just rotate. Well, Cody's group never got a chance to because they were having so much going on in the basement with the ghost box and just hearing some things. And they also heard what sounded like the rocking chair slide and move as it happened.
That little one that's...
I'm guessing it was that little one.
That has the old Captain Crunch logo.
that little child.
Okay.
I think that's the one they're talking about.
Okay.
Because I don't remember any other chair in there.
That's
down
crazy.
So, but when Leo said, he's like, Jason, I swear to God, it sounded like boo. He's like, as corny as that sounds, it sounded like boo. Like somebody jumping out and scaring him and popping him real quick. Or
Really?
grabbing him and made him fall backwards. Well, I get to talking to this husband and wife that were there. And she's from there, and she's like, when I was growing up, you know what they used to do in the basement? I was like, no, but that sounds interesting, and and she said, well, they used to have a spook house down there where they, did like a Halloween thing, and they, set it all up, and I'm thinking, spook house, then you have somebody who says boo to somebody. I don't know if it's residual or if it has something to do with it.
Right.
Or what, but I told Leo and I was like, that could be something, It's like it was scaring them, in the way that they used to do it back, several years ago. So I don't know. It was definitely interesting, but I felt bad for them because they were having a good time, and then all of a sudden that happened, and they were pretty emotionally shook up by it. So,
Well, yeah, it would be. I mean,
to actually have something shove you like that when you are there to have some fun.
Good time.
Mm-hmm.
And I've never seen anything like that happen there or some of those museums or even historical sites that we go to, because nothing. I mean, it was a bad prank on whatever spirit was there doing it.
Yeah.
That would have
Yeah.
been a great deal though for like a TV series when that happened, because you know you got the shoving
Not for the
going
person.
on,
Yeah.
you got,
Yeah,
you
they
got
weren't that
the
happy.
crying and the shaking on the main floor. Then you got the parents showing up to get the kids outside. Because I walked outside and I saw you and Leah over there next to this Suburban. Sorry, you know, hope they're
I was
okay.
just
And,
like,
yeah,
sorry,
yeah.
sorry.
That's
We
funny.
really had no control on that. You know? But,
Well, it happens.
yeah. I mean,
So-
it's happened to you. It's happened to Leo. You've had your butt touched back there in the shop
Woohoo!
behind us.
Yeah. There was a
I had
moment.
to. I had to.
Thanks, appreciate it.
But I don't think we had anything like that happen there,
Uh-uh.
or anything close to that, or felt anything
No, because you guys have
there at all.
investigated
What do you
that
mean,
3
touching
times?
or?
The touching at Ness City, have we had anyone?
No, that's the thing. I don't think any of us have had any kind of like physical contact, but last night it seemed like it was very handsy to a lot of people last
Yeah.
night.
Yeah,
Well,
because-
and now I will say that the one time
And it
that
wasn't Max or Roe doing it
one incident. No, you know, when we first got there, and when I arrived, I know that the last time we spoke, you had some stuff going on that main floor where that office is at, where we kind of sit, and then it goes off to the bathroom. We were just starting to, you know, everybody's going everywhere. And I remember everybody starting to go past the office. They were going to go up the stairs, and you guys were all going to walk up.
Mhm.
And I think you were downstairs, and you stayed downstairs and were doing something. And I was like, oh, I'll go ahead and follow everybody up. And then I thought, no, I'll stay down just in case she needs some help. And when I turned around and walked back into that hallway, something brushed up next to me. It was almost like we just kind of weren't paying
That was
attention.
right before we
started.
just got there.
Yeah, and I just kind of went, okay, what was that? And then I look over and, you know, of course your hair sticking straight up and I had goosebumps all over, and I thought that was
Yeah.
pretty interesting because I haven't ever been bumped into.
Right.
And it was right there where you guys...
Except for your butt incident back there. Come on, don't.
Now, I will say the one time that I've been to the location,
Right.
to my knowledge, no one was touched or anything that night. But at one point during the night, this was not a public event. It was just a team
Right.
investigation. We were trying to prepare for possible future public events. But I see here, we were up on the 3rd floor where the old Masonic Hall used to be, and I was a little uncharacteristic, but I was kind of pushing a little bit, just trying to bring out some activity. And there,
Upstairs and
yeah,
yeah.
it did get a little bit there for a little while. Some of the activity we were bringing out did seem maybe a little more aggressive, but not. I think that was just because I was just pissing them off. You know, I don't.
That was up there in the lodge area.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah. Which we haven't really touched on that
The
up
whole
there
Mason
since.
side.
Mhm.
Because honestly, I didn't know what to say or how to go about it.
Yeah.
But I remember that night being up there with Renee
Hmm.
and you, and you were, because Renee and I were talking, and we were trying to say, you know, hey, you know, there's a female up here in the old Mason Lodge. How do you feel about, you know, just
Mhm.
trying to get some reaction.
Right.
But when you got up there, it was like we were hearing full-on conversations, and it was like male conversations all around us.
Yeah.
Back there, that hasn't really happened since that
Well,
I know of.
Now, I'm not going to go into a lot of detail about
Right.
what I was doing,
Right.
but it would have. it would have been sufficient to piss off a lodge full of Freemasons. I mean, not that I was, you know, really like wanting to
it's
do
not
that,
but you know, when you're a Mason, there's some strict rules.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it wasn't necessarily that you were trying to egg something on. It's just you either do it or you don't.
Right.
And a true Mason, if you even mention, they're not going to be happy with
Right.
it. So it's
Yeah.
not like you were pushing it. It's just, okay, I'm going to do this. And they're going to be like, excuse me?
Right.
So.
Now, third floor, get a lot of motion up there, shadows, and you've had the flashlight coming on and off.
That was the one spot where the flashlight was really going off for me there on the third floor. Now, there's a lot of focus on the men on the third floor because it's a old Mason lodge, but my experience is more female. The voices I've heard sounded like a young female. And then the responses that we were getting last night with the flashlights came after questions regarding asking if it was a young female. I asked I called out a female name, and that's consistently the flashlights would light up after that.
Right.
So I personally feel like there may be a young female presence up there as well.
Right.
Was that when Cody was with you?
Yes.
So, and I heard you guys.
I was
excuse me,
watching the whole
everybody.
thing on
Did
the
you
monitor.
guys get that on the monitor?
Oh yeah, it was right there
wow.
on camera.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's good stuff.
So, I mean, we actually caught a lot of stuff last night.
Cool. I have the pictures loaded. If you guys want to go
You're
through
like-
any of them.
Well, no, I'm kidding. No, yeah, absolutely,
That was like 30
absolutely.
minutes ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, before we get into any of that, I have to brag on my stepson here a little bit. The reason I missed the investigation last night is because I was helping him drag in this fat sow at the lake at his family's farm.
I saw that too. You guys didn't
like
buy
20,
that?
there's a 20 or 22 inch largemouth bass. I bet that's
It's all about the size as
it was
as him.
huge.
You see
That was
this?
huge. Did you see
So
that?
yeah, that was
Yeah.
Wow.
Look at that.
Oh, wow.
that was a lot of fun. So anyway, okay, so
That's
Bought
awesome.
Yeah, he bought it. And
Don't forget to change the title to it. Did
What's
you
that?
change the title?
I did.
Okay.
Did
I just haven't refreshed it yet, so.
so what do you want to look at first?
Let's show them what the actual bank looked like outside.
Okay, do I have
think
one of
I
those?
should have sent a couple of them to you.
Let's see here.
Or you can put up whatever you want. We can talk about whatever, however order you want to. Really.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, I've got one.
It's a
There's one
beautiful,
from the
beautiful
outside.
building.
Oh, there's. You want the group picture outside or just the bank building?
Start with the bank building, but I wouldn't mind showing the group too. 'Cause it was.
And I'm gonna have to. Counterclockwise. There we go. Now. Okay, here is the Ness City Bank Building. Beautiful, huge old building. It's up now.
Thank you so much. Okay. There we go. Yes. So I took that just right outside. You can't even see the top of it yet in that picture. We have several more, but all made of limestone. And it was brought in from all over the state. From I think, well, I say all over the state. It was from nearby areas, but it was all carried in. And they built that back in 1888, I believe, is when they were constructing that. So all handmade. It's so beautiful.
I remember you can actually see the tooling marks in the limestone
Yeah.
in those limestone blocks. It's so cool.
And one of the board members even said that you could tell when it's a different person carving
Yeah.
it, because the tool marks change throughout the whole carving of it. So
What do you want next?
surprises.
Okay, we will go with.
that
How
one.
about this? This is always a cool one.
Not that one.
It's the old the vault.
Yes, the vault. That is on the second floor. So that's one of the vaults that they have. They have a vault on the second floor, main floor, and then there's 2 in the basement.
Mm-hmm.
But all still original from then. And they are. This one actually, you go in and you can actually walk all the way through it to another adjacent room. So it's.
Right.
They're huge,
Yeah.
and they were. I've never had anything, but has anybody? I think we've had shadows up around in that area. The
Yeah.
last time we were there, I think Leo and I missed it, but I think he was seeing something dark from and back and forth from that area.
Well, last night Max was one of the.
I switched pictures too soon. I didn't
Okay.
mean to
Well,
switch so
that's all right,
soon,
that's
but
all right.
This is a picture of the Masonic members, at least the pictures that they have that were available to them. Those are from the 1800s all the way up to the 1970s in there. And I think the Masonic Lodge up there, they're using it as early as 2000, I want to say, but maybe not.
Yeah, because they started using that for their lodge.
Yeah. Now that's just the room next to it, but
Right.
there's another picture of it all wide open where the lodge would have been, however they set up their stuff. I've never seen it.
let's see here. I think if I remember correctly, maybe it's this one.
But it's this area is that we have a lot of voices and shadows and movement up in this area.
It'll pop up on your screen there in a second, but
No problem.
I think this
Yeah,
is
that's
the,
it.
Yeah,
That's it.
Yeah, that's the lodge room.
Yeah, that's it.
This is where they have their proms, a lot of proms.
Yeah, a lot of banquets and everything up there. The ceiling still looks like it's all tin and from the 1800s. I love it. They've done a lot of work up there.
Were you going to say something, Paula?
Well, that's where I have the most luck with the flashlights. And that's where
Motion lights too.
right. And that's
Was that on the Mason side or
yes.
the entry there?
Well, it was right. It's actually in the hallway right before you get into
Yeah, right
the
before you
room.
get in.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it's right before
Yep.
that room.
Yep,
right
right
there.
before that room. Because I know when you're walking up the entrance, you can there's a wall that splits those 2 rooms. You can either go this way or this way, right?
Mhm.
There's 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I remember when you guys went out there last time, you had stuff, motion detectors, and you guys were downstairs on the, 2nd floor? And somebody was watching the monitors and they were going off and
Yeah,
nobody was
yeah,
even up there.
Yeah, it was bizarre. Nobody was up there, and the lights were going on, and the flashlight was coming on by itself.
Mm,
That was sitting
that's
there.
cool.
So
Now, I'm assuming this is the group that you guys had last
I
night.
didn't get to see that.
no.
It's a group of
Or
windows.
part of them at least.
There.
There it
Yep,
is.
that's it. That's the group picture. Put your glasses on, man.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, it's a neat picture.
Yeah.
Who's that guy right there? That's odd. Who's he? Awesome.
No, that was the group that we had last night. We're all posing with them out there.
Shows a good sized group that we had.
Yes, it was, and they were all into it. I loved it.
Yeah, it's a great.
But you can see more of the structure of the building too with that, and just how beautiful it is.
And this looks like the beginning of the tour. I gotta get the picture resized and situated here.
We kind of did a last minute sending you pictures stuff.
Yeah.
Apologize. on
Well,
that.
no, it's okay. It's okay. It's been a crazy busy weekend for everyone. So
This picture is just we were. This was Leo and I were up front talking and kind of going over everything that we were about ready to do that night. We like to give everybody some rules and regulations about what to do, what not to do, what to expect. Of course, we also mentioned that nothing, you won't get hurt here, stuff like
You
that.
won't get shoved, scratched.
Yeah, we do apologize.
and
Here we go.
how about, well, my resizing again. Let's see. What? What just happened here?
That looks good over here.
Well, okay, gotcha. Hang on. Sorry,
What's that?
I haven't worked
This is
this
just a picture
software
of
in a
Leo and I
while.
up there talking.
Oh, in the
There we go.
in the beginning.
Yeah. So we were just up there talking. We like to always do a big meet and greet before we do events, just so we can talk to everybody and go over things. And I like to get to know everybody that's out there and such. But
now let's moving right along. Sorry guys, I'm
Hey, you're doing a great job for being thrown at this
Yeah.
last minute.
well. It was almost a panic situation there for a little while because I couldn't get the cameras to connect to my computer and we were counting down on like 10 minutes.
that's how we roll. So,
But we always do it in the end.
yes, we do.
Yes, we do.
We always come
So in the
through.
future, Max, no
So there's
pregnancies, no babies, no hospital visits. Gotta make it. No birthdays.
This is just another picture of how some of the seating up there in the Mason Lodge area.
Did you guys, now when we were up there, they mentioned that somebody had put just a flashlight down and it had moved, it had rolled. Do you guys,
Yeah, Max had done that. Max was I was up there on the second rotation with him, and he was doing that over in the Mason side. And so, of course, when I walked in, I was on the other side, and when I walked in, there were several people in there with him.
See, I couldn't see that angle with the camera, but I knew there were several people over there with him.
Yeah, they were, and I didn't catch it, until the very end when I walked in. But some of the people were actually.
there's Max.
And there's a picture of the main lobby right there.
Hey, Max.
Anyway, we'll continue
Okay,
on as
hold on
we'll
just
get
a
the
second.
phone call here.
We got a phone call.
We got a phone call?
Yep. Got it?
Ah.
It's only money, right?
No, I just saw it hitting the laptop and
Yeah, yeah.
wiping the whole thing out.
Okay, Max, you're on the air with us.
So even when I'm not there, I'm there. Just so everyone understands.
You're supposed to be with your wife. You know that, right?
It's her birthday dinner, and he's on this is great dedication.
Yeah.
Great
How does
dedication,
Jamie
Max.
feel about all this?
We're enjoying watching the show for once instead of having to be there.
Gotcha. So what's up?
So in the Masonic room, there was a lot of things that happened. It was the flashlight. It rolled right to me. It rolled towards Rose. Rose and I actually saw a full apparition walking away throughout that room. There was a lot of things that actually happened in that room. I'd have to say that was probably the beginning of everything that we started to experience.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I had my
pretty
flashlight
amazing.
sitting
It was
next to me,
right
and I
after the
had
flashlight had rolled, we
probably
actually saw
3 or 4 people with me. Rose was walking around videotaping, and my flashlight from a dead stop just started rolling. It rolled all the way around me and stopped on my other side.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
And then we
real.
did it a couple more times to try to recreate it, and it never happened to the same until Rose also stepped next to me, and it rolled from my right side right to his feet on my left side.
Holy cow, that's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that was pretty interesting. And we actually had some of the other people witnessed it, so they started putting their flashlights out to see if they could recreate it, and it wouldn't do it. Because we kind of wondered maybe if, you know, you can have the floor, you know, it's not level.
Right.
No.
I think I have the room that you're talking about
Right there.
on
Yeah.
screen
Yeah.
now. So.
Well, it was the one with the Masonic pictures.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay. It was so it was in that
Yeah, you showed it
ready
just a minute
room.
ago.
It was prior to the Masons.
Yeah. So the one you have on now is actually where Rose and I saw a person walking out of, like, from, there's a kitchen right off of there. So they walked right out of that kitchen, right out of that room, like, towards the stairs and towards the elevators. I mean, it was so lifelike and vivid. It wasn't just a shadow. It wasn't just half of whatever. It looked like a full person just walking away to go investigate the rest of the room. And it turns out that no one had moved. Everyone was still sitting in that one main room.
Wow.
Yeah, I actually tried to tell Max it was one of the ladies that had just gone, and we were like, no. And so, yeah, it was not anybody. They were all still in the room.
Yeah.
That's
And I was watching the whole time.
Did you catch it on camera, that when it walked out of the kitchen and headed out of the room?
Yeah, because it should have been on camera.
Oh.
I never.
Yeah, after I found out, I thought it was somebody, one of the
angle.
guests.
I did see a woman get up and go over there at one time, but I don't know if it was your rotation or not. So, but I never saw anybody else go over there to that area.
Yeah, it spooked me because I just kept, what's everybody, you know, I could have sworn it was one
But
of the guests.
had it been a guest, everyone was sitting right there, so they would have seen.
Right.
They would
Yeah,
have seen.
because the lady to the
her,
right of
'cause-
me even said, there's nobody.
Okay, yeah. So I did see a guest get up, go toward the doors, you know, the old western doors, and she went in, turned right back around, came back out, sat down. So everybody saw that.
Yeah, because they're all, did you see that? And I'm like, oh, that was a guest. Because it was so real.
I did see somebody walk around out there. Now, you and Max were, I believe, over in the Masonic area
Yep.
with the pictures.
Yeah. And when I'm talking about that,
Yeah.
there's a lady in the other side because that
Right.
wall's so thin, and she goes, no, we're all sitting here.
Right.
And I'm like, okay.
So I did see a figure. So we'll
Thanks,
go
Max.
back. We'll go back and look at that.
Yeah.
Appreciate it, Max.
So
Yeah, no problem, guys.
you had a good time at the place, huh?
Oh yeah, I mean, it was my first time there with everyone, first time there ever, and it was amazing. Honestly, the things that I experienced, I wasn't expecting to experience at all.
Well, very cool. I'm glad you guys got to go and have a good time. So, it's always good to talk to you, and we'll talk at you later, okay?
Yeah, you guys have a good show.
All right. Tell Jamie we said hi.
Okay.
All right.
We could sing happy birthday to her.
I don't see.
I don't either.
All right, I'll sit. And that's something else, too. We need to let the guests know that are watching the show they can call in. And,
Yeah.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
The
We have-
number right there on the screen. You can call in,
Absolutely.
and we'll take your call live on air. Ask us whatever you want, and
yeah, if there was
Well.
anybody actually at the... if
within reason now.
Yeah.
Do you have pictures of the second floor?
Let's see here. Which
Should be. It's very narrow hallway. I believe should have sent that to you.
very narrow hallway, you said?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So this is the area that Max. I happened to walk up. Now, I know he was up there, and he had just radioed down if we had said anything. Now, I happened to be down at the bottom of the stairs, and I was trying to be as quiet as I could coming up the stairs, but, you know, they heard me anyway. You can't be quiet on those stairs at all.
Give me a second. This
you're
you
fine.
can keep talking
You're
about
fine.
it, but this isn't wanting to let me pull that particular
right,
picture
that's right.
up for a reason.
So
for some reason.
So I was heading upstairs, and he swears that he heard like a female voice yell, "Hey," because he was actually starting to kind of taunt or say a few things. Because he had guests with him, and they were just trying to get some activity going, just a little bit, just push it just a tiny bit. And I guess whoever was there didn't like what he was doing, and so it actually yelled out, "Hey!"
Like, hey,
Yeah, called
knock
him
it
out.
off.
And I did not hear it. Yeah, on my way up, I did not hear it. And I was standing at the bottom of the stairs for a little while, listening to them talking, and I never heard it. So, and he had his recorder going. I know Leo's recorder was up there too. So hopefully we caught that. And hey, and the camera was right there too. So
Yeah, we've got
it
some
should be
good
on
stuff.
video as well.
Anybody else here have any stuff on the second floor? I did not.
Paul and I were up there together, and I mean, we were whistling, doing everything.
Because I mean, we've had whistles come back to us before.
Okay, here. This should be what you're talking about, I think. It'll take it a
but
second
you've
to
had-
pop up for you.
You've
but
had whistles, right?
No, I have not. Now, the room where the picture of the vault, in that room, I captured the male voice in that room
that's the
On
right
the
one.
second floor?
on the second floor.
See, didn't Max say that said something to him as he was coming out of that vault, or was that the basement? Where it
I'm
went?
not sure. I'm not sure.
Like,
But anyway, there's male voices that have been heard up there, but that's also where they think the woman is roaming up and down the hallways. Not to bring up a bad moment, but the last visit we were there, when it was the last time we were just the team, we were up on the third floor, the four of us, you heard footsteps and what sounded like a dress.
Yes.
Swishing,
I was-
kind of.
Right.
Right.
It sounded like footsteps, kind of in a dragging motion.
Right, and that's when you headed downstairs.
And that was a time that was only four of us.
Right.
And there was
It was
nobody else in the building.
3 of us and Leo,
Right.
and that's what you heard, and that's what a lot of people have claimed, that that there's a woman up there. I know Cinda, who works down her office is down in the basement. She even says, "Yeah, we have a name for her and everything." I don't want to say it because I want to kind of keep it.
yeah, I
to
know there's only like a
events
couple
and
of
stuff
you,
like
because
that.
throughout the night you're all going, this name, and I'm like, you're all being secretive on this name. So, like, all night I'm up there trying to say, okay, what's that name?
Well, because if everybody's calling
Yeah.
that, who knows?
Yeah,
You know,
who
we're kind of
knows?
making out.
Could
But
be
if we can
interesting.
actually capture that name on audio or something like that, that's pretty significant. So we, it's one of the. I think it was the gentleman who actually ended up leaving when we were all sitting in there in the main lobby doing the big introduction. He was like, "Yeah, we were setting up for prom, and we heard a female whistle or say something out in the hallway, and there's only like 2 or 3 of them in the room. They're decorating. They actually heard a female. So they claim that yep, she's here.
But nobody really knows the history behind her, who it might be.
No, well, it could have been anybody. I mean,
There's
from
so
apartments to the business offices to the court office. I mean, it could have been anybody. So
And they don't even know what all was in there for sure.
yeah.
Is my understanding, because there's just so much.
There's so much, yeah. Well, and the main vault down on the basement, not the basement, but on the main level that's closed,
Right.
they can't get it open.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know that. That's
Yeah, the first time when Roth and I went up there to talk to him to try and get him hooked and having us come out, it was open. And we were able to go in, and they have so much historical documents in there of the town, the building, the original documented notes and time dates of everything.
wow.
They have artifacts of the town in there. I mean,
If
original
that
post
thing, if that
office
thing
stuff.
stays locked forever, we're in there, man.
we're I mean, we tried to get it open. Even Isla's like, They've had people come out and look at it, and
They even had somebody come out and like reset the lock, and
it's
still
one of
won't work.
those
Really?
one of those levers is not catching at all, so it just spins.
You could hear it
It's
go.
almost like it broke or
click.
something.
Like, it's pretty cool. It's like clang, but then it doesn't go all the way.
Right.
So
Wow.
then you got the other
Oh,
one
that
that
sucks.
spins.
Yeah, and the other one just free spins.
So it's almost like it busted.
Mhm.
So it's, as of right now, forever locked
Huh.
with whatever they have inside, you know. So
Nobody was in there when that happened. 'Cause I
Right.
still don't even know
well,
why
hopefully
it was
nobody's
closed.
closing it on them. Oh, but if somebody is,
That's a new story for us.
Oh.
Because how did it
Here's
close?
happening on the other
Nobody
side,
knows
you know.
why it shut.
Wow.
And I remember when we went in there, they told us make sure you don't shut that door.
Yeah,
Right. Yeah.
and it's not a huge. I mean, it fit 3 or 4 of us in there,
Mhm.
but other than that, you know, it's not like a gigantic.
It's
I
not-
think that was open the time that I went up there.
No, because nobody else ever has been in there.
Really?
Yeah.
Hmm.
The other ones have been. The one in the basement, the one on the second
Oh,
floor.
okay,
they've all been
okay.
open.
Oh, so there's
But
3 total. I just remember
There's
2.
4.
So there's 4.
Two down in the basement. That big one up on the second floor that goes through, and
Yeah.
then you have the main level one that is now forever locked. for some
Wow.
reason. And that one is just stacked full with documents
Okay.
and artifacts. And
It's
stuff.
a
Wow.
great time capsule now.
Oh my gosh, yes. You guys would love it. I mean, there's some original post office stuff in there.
It's
from-
neat. And it's like they left it the last day they were working. It's like,
Yeah.
it's neat.
I love it. It was great. And it's sad that they can't get it open
Because-
without destroying or hurting the vault door or
I was just
anything.
gonna
You
say
know?
Right.
that, yeah.
And if you go in on the inside,
But they need to.
you know the big bells that go off when somebody would, rob the place.
Right.
You can see. I think it's still roped, isn't it? How it works. It's like if somebody opens a door,
I believe
it's
so,
like
'cause
all
there's even
these
stuff coming
ropes,
out through the floor.
you know,
going up
zigzagging.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
Pulleys
Yeah,
everywhere
it's
and
all
yeah.
pulley
Yeah.
system.
Well, it's like the old in the old historical theaters, the old projectionist booths, and the fire trap system that they have set up. Because those old projectors ran so hot, it was such a fire danger. They had it rigged up so that if a fire broke out in there, they had all these pulleys and springs and on little pewter fuses.
The Murdoch Theater.
Yeah,
Here at the
exactly.
Murdoch Theater here in Wichita.
If they get a fire burning in there hot enough to melt one of those little pewter fuses, then every window and door in there would slam shut. And if you're in there, you're just SOL. I mean, you're.
What a way to think, huh?
Yeah.
You go for entertainment.
Right,
die on
right.
fire.
Yeah, kind of never thought of being a projectionist as being a hazardous occupation, but.
For the rest of the night, I mean, other than that, that was pretty much the event. By 2 o'clock, everyone was petering out.
Yeah.
It was starting. I mean, most of us were just kind of sitting around and stuff like that. I mean, we kind of did some more rotations just off and on, but it'll be interesting when we finally go over everything. But,
Yeah. Yeah.
It's going to be a lot.
A
'Cause
lot of
we,
stuff.
We had everything up and running by what 4
Yeah.
p.m.
Wow.
and we turned it off at 7 a.m. 8. Yeah, about that.
Wow.
It's gonna be a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Wow.
But we we only had the 3 cameras going, but we also had the handhelds and the GoPros and stuff.
You know, I could not keep the handhelds on that second level.
Yeah, it
going.
wouldn't work.
I went through 3 batteries.
I
Because
was-
Holy cow.
One time,
It was 87.
Paula saw me and
almost
she's
90
like, "Aren't you
degrees
with your
Yeah.
group?" I'm like, "I'm getting another battery because I was burning them through them so fast on there." I
Right.
think the most I ever got was like 3 minutes and 58 seconds up there.
So we have a ton of stuff coming up now. You guys ready? Because now we got this following weekend.
Should I get my pen?
Oh, you already know all this.
Oh, okay. All right.
I'm just saying for the viewers, we have a ton. Because I mean, this is we got this coming Saturday. We got another event that is kind of dear to us. Really, this is kind of the event that kind of helped kickstart all the public events that we do now. Do you have a picture of Wilson?
Of I bet I can find one right quick.
I might be able to send it to you.
Oh, don't worry about it. I'll just.
But next weekend we are doing another sold out public event. It's in Wilson, Kansas. We're doing the Midland Railroad Hotel. This is going to be our, what did we say, 5th time there?
Yeah.
5th time doing it. Only one time did we not sell it out, which the deal with the hotel is we get to investigate it only if we sell it out. The first time we did it, we sold it out in 2 weeks. That kind of kick-started a lot of stuff. It's a...
Oh, now this is cool.
Yes,
So I
sir.
did a search, a Google search, image search for Midland Railroad Hotel, and Road Trip Paranormal logo is in like the top 5 rows of results.
Awesome. They are going to be working with us and getting our evidence that we've caught from there on their website. So when people go to look up the Midland Railroad Hotel, they can actually listen to a lot of the stuff that we've caught over the last 4 or 5 visits that we've been there. So that's going to be coming soon. We're working with the management there to get that. They actually want that on there, which is very odd for some businesses. They don't want to, have that posted, but we've been doing this and we've been selling it out every time except for the one time, which we only got the 3rd floor. It was a smaller group, which was nice too, but we're, hey, we like the big groups, don't we?
Yeah. And if you have the whole
You get
hotel,
the whole
you got
the whole hotel, the restaurant bar downstairs. We do the soda shop, the Grandma Soda Shop across the street. Jerry is the owner there. He lets us in. We investigate over there too the same night, and we also go over to the cemetery. Take people out there just to. It's a cemetery, so it's always fun. I have yet to ever be out there because I'm always stuck at the hotel or the soda shop. But it's the Midland Railroad Hotel where we actually have had a lot of success with getting our name out there. Actually, it kind of helped kickstart everything with us. We've done a lot of filming out there. That's landed us with filming some other things in Dodge City, and we went to Tahlequah, Oklahoma, which is like the basis of this book right there. Which I had to do that for Max because he always says we always talk about it. But it's going to be interesting again because it's already sold out. We actually Roth had this sold out for us in one shot. So
I don't think we've gone over 17 days and it hasn't been sold out. So
yeah, you had this sold out with one phone call basically, and it was done. So it's
so if there's any viewers out there that know anybody that wants to get a big group together, call this number, email us, whether it's Road Trip or Everyday Legacy, get to me and I'll set it up for you.
There's the hotel. Now it's had the very first owner opened it. They had a fire, burned up the 3rd floor and most of the 2nd floor. They redid it, and it's been going strong ever since. There may have been a murder / maybe suicide in there of a cowboy that we don't know the complete history of it, but that's what they're claiming. That causes a lot of commotion in the room. There's another spirit that they see running around and in the rooms. Sometimes there's a porcelain doll that's placed into your bedroom by another person that scares the crap out of you while you're trying to go to sleep. I won't name names on that one.
Was that on one that I didn't make it to, or?
Oh no, you were there. You and Cody went home. Everybody took off to go home except for.
Oh, that was that night that we left at like 3 in the morning to go home.
Because you went home early. Leo couldn't make it. He wasn't feeling good. You were there, Jeremiah. Paula was there. Brendan and I were there. Brendan and I and Paula were there, and you were the only ones that actually stayed.
Was that the owner's porcelain doll, the one that she went to get last time?
It
Oh, so
was
she
freaky
brought it back.
little porcelain doll. And we had it in the room where it's supposedly a little girl is seen, which is also the room that Paula was staying in that evening. So when Brendan and I get back to our room to crash finally about, 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning, Brendan takes the back bedroom, I get in the bunk bed and I lay down, I look over and there's that damn porcelain doll staring right at me, almost
That's
level
priceless.
with my
that's
bed.
awesome.
That's
It's just
priceless.
smiling at me.
Did you?
I didn't want it in my room.
But the thing is I couldn't do anything with it. I just rolled over and put the covers over. I was like, stupid doll. I don't care about anything else. I'll go run in the dark and whatever's screaming at me or whatever. But
Some
a
porcelain
doll?
doll with a
Come
demon
on.
grin.
come on now.
That's awesome.
It's gonna come. It's karma. If the stairs wasn't here, maybe the stairs is enough.
That was her fault, though.
Yeah. I'm done. I had my moment.
Okay. We'll leave it at that.
Okay.
Falling down the stairs is good enough.
Yeah, one of the guests said, she said, I'm afraid I'm going to fall or something in front of the cameras and you guys are going to, I said, you can't do anything that we haven't done, ourselves. So.
Right.
It'll end up in a gag reel. It's
Yeah,
okay.
we're gonna do a blooper, so.
It was funny last night. This girl, she's from Dodge City. They came up to do the event last night, and she's on the second floor where I'm sitting there, watching the second floor. I'm watching all the floors, and she's walking toward where I'm sitting. So I'm watching her come toward the camera, and she drops her flashlight, trips on it. Goes down to get it and is kicking it all around it. This whole bit come to her. She finally stands up, looks right at the camera, walks over to me, and she goes, "Now I know this is going to be caught, and I know you've been watching this. Can you please just edit this? Just cut me out of it, please." I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. And I kind of just moved on, and I was paying attention over here. It's okay. And she walked away. I was like, just keep a hold of your flashlight.
That's funny.
It's fun.
Yeah.
But yes, next weekend we've got Wilson. It's going to be a lot of fun too. We're going to have. There's going to be dinner there. They have a very good restaurant that they have, bar and grill, bar and grill downstairs. Not a lot of rooms there. I think there's 30 rooms altogether there in the hotel.
Yeah.
So it's not gigantic, but it is very nice, very nice, and the town is amazing with everyone there. I mean, I think everyone's very pleasant and happy for us to come in and do it. It's a very busy time for the hotel too, because we sell it out. We go over to the soda shop. We eat over
Best
there.
hamburger in Kansas.
Hamburger, pizza.
Really good.
Oh my
Good
goodness,
stuff.
it's good stuff.
So you eat well there too, as well.
We do eat well there. It's
One of these days, I'm gonna have to get the picture over to you so you can bring it up.
The picture of that
double
burger that
bacon
you did.
cheese
Oh
burger.
yeah. Oh, I wonder if I can find something on Google.
I used to have it.
Grandma's.
soda
Grandma's
shop.
soda shop.
Yeah. So another long night on that one next weekend. So we'll be coming home on Sunday. Wilson's about 2 hours 45 minutes from Wichita. Well, last night we were in Ness City, which is a good 2 hours 59 minutes.
Mine was a bit longer, so it must be.
Depends on where you
driving.
park.
I just
Depends on where you
Yeah,
park, 'cause
and
I just googled it. That's what it said. 2 hours 59 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Mine said like 3:08 or 3 hours 8 minutes is what it said.
Yeah, by phone.
Huh?
Nothing.
I have my phone.
Then August 2nd, or no, that's already coming up. September 2nd, we are going to be in Dodge City. Can't wait for that one. It's just a team. We're going to be investigating a theater there. We've already done it before. We're finally getting back in there. It's been a couple years. They've been doing a lot of work on this one. It's the old Dodge Theater.
Yeah, there's so much activity going on there. It's just
yeah, we can't wait to actually see what's going on. Since it's been worked on and then closed down again, and now there's a new owner doing more work on it, trying to get it back up and going. They don't know what they're going to turn it into, because the Depot Theater, just down the road, is doing a lot of all the stage acting and everything. So they may turn it back into a movie theater, so it's not competing with. Because Dodge City, actually, all the businesses, they try to work together to help each other out. So I love it out there. We've done so much work out there too. And then September 9th, the very following weekend, we are going to Oberlin, Kansas. Not Overland Park. It's Oberlin. This is, everyone's like, oh, that's only a couple hours away. You're not far. No, Oberlin, Kansas, is a little over 4.5 hours away from Wichita. It's up by Nebraska and western Kansas. So that one we are going to be doing. We've been there twice to investigate the museum where we're going again. We've only done the main theater. I've had very little sleep. We've done the main museum there, and then we've also done the Depot building behind it, which is part of the museum. This is when we go there in September. We're going to be doing a public event, which again sold out in 2 weeks, maybe even sooner than that. Charlene out there, who's one of the curators of the museum, she says she has a waiting list for people who are wanting to do this with us. There's 15 buildings altogether at the museum, and it's kind of set up like Cowtown here or Dodge City. It's all the old buildings and churches, the church, the schoolhouse, the doctor's office. So it's all set up outside. There's a small little jailhouse out there. So we're going to have 7 buildings of that for that night. We've never been in any of the other buildings, so this is going to be like a
That's what's going to make this one investigate. In the beginning I was like, makes me a little nervous sometimes going and doing an investigation on a place, especially with a big tour like that, and we haven't been there yet. So, but now I think it's going to be exciting because they're going to be experiencing it with us for the first time. Right. Yeah, it'll be fun.
I love it.
It'll be fun. It'll be fun. That's going to be a good one.
Oh, you can tell me how it goes.
Oh, you can't make that one?
Yeah, that one I won't be able to make.
Why can't you make that one?
Because it's on a very important day.
There it is. There's a museum right there. It's the Last Indian Raid Museum in Decatur County. Last Indian Raid Museum.
I'll change that.
No, you're fine.
Okay.
That's good. You're fine. No,
look it up because the history behind that place.
Yeah.
My dad actually called me one time and just went, "Wow, I did not even know this." So look it up. I don't want you to hear it from me. I'm sure you've already heard it from Jason, but the history on it is unbelievable.
Yeah.
They have so much in there from the county, right there. A lot of artifacts inside, and it spans not just from the Old West and from of course the last Indian raid through there. They've got stuff in there from all the wars. They have a huge gun collection from different eras of the war. We saw that first time we went out there. She took us into that one building that had all the artifacts in there. We didn't investigate that area, but she wanted to show us. And there's just in the one building you had all the war artifacts. You had a bank teller's booth in there from turn of the century. They had something I've never seen before is hair curlers connected with wires that come down, and it looks like something like Frankenstein.
It really does.
And it's like you put it all on there, and now the poster next to it, you have all this. Women would get. Have you ever seen this?
It looks like extension cords hanging down.
Yes,
the
extension
metal
cord. Yes.
rollers. And so they, how now they have the dome, right?
Right.
You get in, and do your stuff. Just like that.
They're doing
Now they've got
back then,
extension cords hanging down, all different sizes.
But the poster for it showed like 3 women sitting there reading their magazine with it, and then one woman who's kind of looking up because her hair is smoky. And I'm like, why would you advertise it that way? But you're like hooking yourself to like electronic.
That's funny.
It did not look good.
That's funny.
It was definitely what, 40s or 50s, 1950s, 40s.
Before that.
Probably before that.
Before that?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was before my
It
time.
looked so dangerous. I'm just looking at that.
That reminds me of an old newspaper I found one time in a house it was actually the Project House back in Anthony, that everyone out there will get to hear a lot more about as we progress on in the shows. But when I was remodeling that house, I found this old newspaper from, I think it was from like February of 1929, and it had a Macy's advertisement for like mink coats for like $15.
Wow.
But the funny part was it had an advertisement for Lucky Strike cigarettes, endorsed by more doctors and professional athletes than any other brand. It said that in the ad.
Wow.
Now what do they say about smoking?
Depends on
No
who you
comment.
Depends on who you ask, right?
Right, yes.
I love doing that. But yeah, so it's going to be, we've got a lot on our plate right now too. Plus here in Wichita, we got another one coming up here. Just need a date. Actually got 2 more. You guys know. You're frowning at me, so I don't know if you're...
I'm not frowning.
Well, it's amazing over the last year and a half how we've grown from 1 to 2 tours to like several, and now it's getting to the point where it's like, oh my God, we're so. I mean, we get what in the next 3 weekends we have one where we're free. One, isn't it like 20 days we're free, and then it's like back to back again. So
Right.
Yeah, October, that's pretty much.
Oh, and then October 13th and 14th, we're
Yeah.
going to be with Ghost Tours of Kansas.
You guys are insane.
We're going to be doing back-to-back days.
We
I've
need
done that
sponsorship.
before, that's-
If anybody's out there, RVs, you name it, get a hold of us.
Gas money. No.
Yeah.
But we're going to be helping Kathy Ramirez with Ghost Tours of Kansas to do the Leavenworth Depot Diner, doing a public event there, investigating that little ghost hunt. We're going to be the ghost hunting team for that event, and then we're going to shoot over to Lawrence the very next day and do the Eldridge Hotel with her.
Awesome.
So it's going to be.
Have you heard of the Eldridge?
No.
Check it out. It's one of the top haunted places here. It's pretty neat.
Yeah. I just showed a picture to Leo, and he was just like, "Oh, that's the Eldridge." I was like, "Okay." Yeah. So got back-to-back events there. You knew about that too.
Yes.
Okay.
I did.
Okay.
I thought she did, and I thought.
I
we were
know
in
you're
trouble.
frowning over there.
I was
It's
like,
just
are we
you're
in
looking
trouble?
at us like, does she not know about that? Did we say that? I know I've posted that in our chats.
She's concentrating.
And I'm over here
She's not
going,
frowning.
did he
She's
not say
concentrating.
So yeah, so we've got that, and not to mention we do the Wichita Ghost Tour for Kathy here in Wichita, of course, because it's called the Wichita Ghost Tour. For Ghost Tours of Kansas, so we do that. We October, I've got dates for just about every weekend except for the weekend that we're going to Leavenworth and Lawrence for the investigations. But
And then after that, we should have the baseball stadium coming up as soon as the season ends.
Okay.
So
Okay, so we'll have a
they don't know
baseball
dates
stadium
yet.
that
They're
we're going
waiting
to
for the
be
baseball season to
investigating
end.
too. So
So kiss your wives goodbye and you'll see them later.
Sorry. Sorry, Nicole. I tell her where we're going all the time, so. Other than that, I think I haven't booked anything else for her, so. I don't think there's anything else booked as of right now.
It's almost like we don't do residential anymore.
Right.
You know, we're so busy with people getting a hold of us wanting tours now. It's
Investigations, not tours. Investigations.
investigation tour investigations. Who's on first?
Get it straight.
A tour is different. You're giving history and walking them around.
That's right.
An investigation
That's
is
right.
actually doing the paranormal investigation.
It's late.
But when you join us, you not only get an opportunity to do an investigation, but it's also a chance to discover some historical areas in Kansas, some really neat areas, and learn about Kansas history. So if you're a historian or a history fan, that's another reason to come along.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I love it. I can't get enough of it. I don't like it the very next day. Like Paula said, it kind of feels like you have a hangover.
Yeah, it does.
You know?
It's like you're almost nauseous a little bit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've had about 2 hours sleep. I think I dozed off in the car for like 30 minutes, maybe. Because Leo finally just told me just
shut up.
Just close your eyes, but just go to sleep. As he's,
Let it go.
because he's
Jason, let
talking
it
to
go.
me, and I hear everything he's saying, but I could not. I'm talking to him like, yeah.
All you're wanting to do is get some sleep.
My head just keeps falling down, and then I'm like, I heard that last comment. What was that? Oh yes, yes, okay. So, but we do it. We love it. Got a lot in store. Not to mention we do this every Sunday as well. So, it's last few episodes we've been kind of at each other's throats a little bit, maybe. With
Different
some
opinions.
topics.
We all have different opinions.
Yeah, that's all it is. Everyone has different opinions, and we're all passionate about our opinions. So it.
But we're all friends in the end, so.
Said he.
See, I told you.
Yeah, you tried to warn me, but
Hold
I
your
wouldn't
ground.
listen.
Hold your ground, girl.
No, got a lot of topics coming up that we want to talk about on the episodes. In the past, we've done demonic hauntings, different paranormal hauntings, to the Slender Man and different myths and legends of like creature stuff, which was a very interesting episode actually, with videos that I'd never seen before. So Leo's always over here. He's got like tons of stuff.
Right.
Does he have time to do that? Because anytime we ask him to go do something, no offense, Leo, you're always busy.
Right.
So I'm looking over and he's got sheets and
Because
you've
he's
got,
working
you've
on
got
that stuff.
books.
He's working on stuff, yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't stop. He doesn't rest. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, when does he find that?
So, okay. Well, first off, is there anything else that you wanted, any of you guys wanted to throw out about last night, or
No, I think
upcoming stuff or anything like that?
Upcoming stuff? No, we're good. What you got?
Because we got about a half hour left,
Yes, sir.
and I wanted to throw out a
No.
curveball
No.
and ask you guys what you think about something.
Oh,
Okay? And there's a reason. I'll get into
This
the
may
reason
not
I'm
be the
asking
night
about
to ask
this.
us anything.
But I want to know what you guys think about ghost lights.
Ghost lights.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
I think so.
The phenomena where people out in the country, most often out in the country, sometimes in cemeteries, that type of thing, they report seeing a light that just appears out of nowhere randomly. There's no discernible cause for it.
And they see it quite often.
Yes.
How big a light are we talking about? Are we
It
talking about
can
like
vary
what
in
we
size.
experienced in Tahlequah?
Yeah, that would be a good, yeah. Well, okay, so
Not quite.
not the ones that we saw at the cemetery, but the ones that I'm not sure who all witnessed it, but like what me and Leo possibly witnessed back behind the old house.
Okay.
There's
Okay.
like a large glowing ball of yellow light, just,
I have
and
never
we have no idea where it
experienced
came from.
Is that what he was talking about when he thought I had put the glow sticks up in the trees?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, yeah. And because the previous trip to, okay, so here we go back to Tahlequah. Just for a second. No, I had put, the previous trip, I had put glow sticks up in the tree
Mhm.
because of certain activity we were having with possible Sasquatch activity. And the idea of it is because researchers have seen them played with or moved or taken by something in active areas of Sasquatch. So I brought him on this one trip, and as Jeremiah and Leo were over at the house, he looks, you know, you guys look out there and you see a light,
Yeah.
I guess up in the, kind of in the, kind of in the tree here. That's my elbow.
Jeez.
I'm falling apart,
I
guys.
thought he broke his
But
own arm.
you guys saw the light. So
Mhm.
Leo thought it was a glow stick. Yeah, I forgot to put them out. They were still in my backpack. So I didn't put
Yeah.
anything out
Yeah.
there. So I don't know what that light was that he saw.
You know, I remember that because that part of that rotation, I was there on the
Are you
deal. And
sure?
I remember him coming and asking me if those were put up.
Right.
And I remember on the radio going, no, you never put them out there.
Yeah, I did.
I remember that.
And he was like, okay. You know.
Right.
But no, for ghost lights, I have no idea or explain. Now you hear the legends of the ghost lights. You
Mhm.
know, there's like an area in the woods that people will even drive out to, and they're like, there it is, you know. And I've seen
Right.
videos of it. There's no source to it. They can't find it.
Right.
You go traveling, and it just seems to either go further back or it disappears.
Right. Right.
And there's no cause for it. It's just a big
Interesting.
glowing light, and it.
Mhm. Yeah. Okay. So the reason I asked about this. Okay. So
I knew there's a reason why.
last night, my significant other and I were out in I can't say where the location is, but it's out in the Flint Hills, very private location. It's privately owned, not something that the public has general access to. And I think it was about maybe midnight, somewhere in there. Her and I were standing out on the front porch. We were getting ready to go to bed. Where this location is, the porch of the cabin there looks to the, I believe it's the south, and you okay?
Are you possessed over there?
What? No, I was just stretching. I'm trying to. When you did your story,
I thought you had a little moment right
and
there.
he's going, and it's out
He
to
was
the
just
south.
zoning
and I just
into
went-
it,
I was
just-
zoning in like, okay, I'm there.
So there's right in front of the structure. There's a yard, and then there's a wood line or a tree line that stretches probably a section of woods that probably stretches back about a quarter mile, and then there's a little bit of pasture land, and then about another quarter mile beyond that is another tree line. And this is all on kind of an incline, so you can see these various stages. So we're standing there. We're out in BFE, and there's no security lights or street lights or anything for miles. So we're first off, we're looking at the stars because that was just amazing. But I just kind of happened to be glancing down around the woods out there, and I right when I was looking straight at it, back there. So when I woke up this morning, went out there to kind of compare, I think it was probably back in that second tree line, that second set of woods back there. But there was a bright white light that faded in, stayed for about 3 seconds, faded out.
Somebody's flashlight.
And there's nothing out there. There is one place on that entire property, and it's a large property. There's one place on that entire property that had electricity to it, and that's where we were standing.
Right.
Back off up there. I mean, there's not even any power lines over there.
Right.
They had to pipe power in from a half mile away at the road. You know, the other way.
Right.
I've never actually witnessed a phenomenon like that, except for down in Tahlequah, which that place is just crazy anyway, but I never really expected to see it anywhere else.
Now, you said Flint Hills, right?
Yes.
So there are stories of ghost lights out there.
Are there?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Enlighten me.
It's a story that I read several years ago. I have the book. I haven't read it in a long time.
Okay.
I think Max even has it right now.
Okay.
He's reading through it.
All right, cool.
But no, there's stories of how people will go out to the Flint Hill area and there's lights that they see out there, and supposedly it's connected to a story of a woman, whether she killed somebody or she was killed or something like that. I know there's a story to it, but is it the spirit manifesting itself or energy out there?
Right.
There's that. Of course, you always have the X-Files issue of, it's just swamp gas.
Right. Well, that's not swampland.
I know. It's swamp gas, or it's the rocks, it's the minerals. I don't know if you believe it,
right.
How it's like the minerals of the limestone or anything like that. As the earth shifts, they rub and it kind of sparks, and it could produce a light or something in the darkness or something like that. There's theories of that. I don't know if I believe it or not. I've never seen it. Was it car lights, right?
No, I mean, to get to the place where I saw that light from, any vehicle would have had to have driven through the front yard of where I was.
Right.
And drive, basically we took ATVs to get to there. I mean, like four-wheelers, and we did take one big four-wheel drive truck once to get back there, but it's not something that you can just, certainly not in the dark, just hike over to.
Now, when you said it appears, you saw it, and then it just fades out, or did it just disappear?
Well, okay, so
I'm trying to debunk the flashlight issue.
Okay. I have to admit, I did not have my glasses on or my contacts in when I saw it. But I could still, I'm not that blind.
Right.
I could, so what I saw as a bright white light, it was fuzzy and probably kind of exaggerated in my eyes because...
You didn't go toward the light, did you?
No.
Okay.
No. Always run away. No, but it didn't jostle around and move quickly like a flashlight or like someone holding a lantern or a light.
Right.
It truly seemed to like manifest in and then fade out.
Okay.
It lasted for, I don't know, 3-4 seconds.
See,
and then I stood out there for another half hour, 45 minutes trying to, see if it would happen again. It never did.
Right.
So.
That's hard to say. I believe that, there's been so many stories of people seeing that phenomenon out there.
Right.
You can even see it on YouTubes and stuff like that. Where were you last night?
Yes. Where were you?
3 seconds, it was somebody lighting a cigarette. I'm just kidding. No, after seeing all those lights that we saw in Tahlequah, man, I can't sit here and say that. It's. But no, I haven't seen or heard anything like that.
Yeah. I was just wanting y'all's take on it, because that, I mean,
You can look
that was
at
the
it
first time
on
I,
YouTube.
you know, even. Okay, I'll say it like this. That was the first time I've ever witnessed something like that without actually being actively looking for it. You know, just out of the blue, and I mean, I wasn't on a ghost hunt or anything like that, or an investigation, or, you know, I was out there with
If it was a
family.
reflection or something like that off of the moon,
But he's-
it would have stayed. Or
Yeah,
it would have
and it was,
flickered.
as best I could tell, it was in tree line, and a fairly, even if it was below the tree line in the pasture, I suppose it could have been a reflection off of a rock or something, but the vegetation in that pasture is pretty thick, and
Right.
you know, you're able to run a four-wheeler up there pretty quick without worrying about hitting rocks or anything. So
That's interesting. Have you ever witnessed anything like that?
I don't know if I have to that extent. I feel like
Other than
I've
telephone,
seen
but that wasn't like a
lights
bright
in the
light.
woods before.
mhm.
Well, I
I
didn't
have,
see
but-
that. I didn't see that. The lights I saw were the little.
Yeah, the little ones.
Mhm.
Yeah, kind of like what you see in the intro.
Right,
Yeah,
yeah.
when Leo's walking and you see
Mhm.
like it's buzzing around, and those lights in the background too. Yeah.
I've seen stories about places that have the ghost lights. They're there
Right.
all the time. I don't know. I'd like to be there just to see
Yeah.
and
Right.
maybe.
Oh, I would have given anything to. You know, of course, up where we were, I spent too much time walking around like this trying to find service. You know, on my cell phone. So I didn't even carry my cell phone with me the vast majority of the time I was there. So I didn't have a camera. I wish I had.
When you're out in the country,
But-
who cares about technology?
What's that?
When you're out in the country, who cares about
Yeah,
technology? Just
yeah.
enjoy yourself.
Yeah. Oh man. And it's an amazing place, but. So.
No, it's. I've read so many stories
Mhm.
about it, and I've seen the videos. I mean, there's been documentaries on
Mhm.
different
Yeah,
paranormal
yeah.
shows that show people going out, because there's some lights, ghost lights that
Well, they're
appear in-
predictable.
Yeah,
Even.
because they all go out there as a big group and they just sit there and wait, and all of a sudden there it is, and they're
Mhm.
all cheering and they're like, oh, look at that, and they're all filming it
Mhm.
while it's right there. And there's been people that try to hunt it down and they cannot
Right.
get
Can't
close
find the
to it
source.
or anything. They've tried to look for different reflections. Is it coming from any towers, any cars, nothing.
Mhm.
Nothing. And especially since it's right smack in the middle of the woods and the trees are blocking anything from above, it doesn't make sense.
Right. I started once to jump on the four-wheeler and run over there and see if I could track something down, but
It's gonna be
I didn't want to
Bigfoot.
leave. I didn't want to
Bigfoot
leave
with a lighter.
Steph or the kids at the cabin by themselves. So.
Or Bigfoot over there smacking.
Yeah. That crossed my mind too, just
He's like,
because
"It's
how
not working."
isolated it was out there. Holy crap! So. Well, we got about, I don't know what, 10 minutes till we got to start winding stuff down. What else you guys want to talk about? We're not very organized tonight,
Yeah, tonight
so.
we're too tired to. You know. Crap, I don't know.
Yeah.
I
You
have
want
my
to
mind
join
blank.
I don't have
No.
anything tonight. No, I'm still.
Everyone's just kind of
I'm
zoned
still,
out.
yeah, I'm still kind of wearing down from last night.
Mm. Yeah.
It was a busy day.
I never saw any shadows last night. Did you guys see any shadows?
Okay, so this one I wasn't sure how much to put into it because I was starting to doze, so it could have been hallucination. But if I actually saw what I thought I saw, it was one of the best shadows I've ever seen. But it looked like a little person walking into that office. Again, same area that where you saw us looking into the kitchen area. I looked to my left and it looked like a little person
Walking into the office where we were all sitting and setting up.
Right.
Wow.
Alright, yeah, to the office there on the first floor.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that was
You say little person, like
It was not, it would have been someone who came up halfway to the doorway, so it would have been shorter than an adult.
My size.
A little short.
Okay, a little shorter. I was not there. Because I was actually
No.
watching you guys. Because I was up there on the second floor with Rose at that time with you guys. So we came over and sat down. We were watching you and Max over there.
Yeah, there wasn't anyone in the hallway.
Now, did you tell them about what you were paying attention to in the kitchen?
So what I was really looking at, rather than a cupcake, was there just like a white bar that peeked out behind the door, from behind the door, and then peeked back in again. So it wasn't a movement like a light reflection, it was more solid. And it peeked out for a second and then pulled back in again.
And that's when you and I were watching her get up and go over
Is
to
that,
the kitchen.
yeah,
That's what she saw.
yeah, I remember that. I do remember that.
And then later, after, you went and took a nap afterwards, and then you were awake and stuff. We were in the kitchen, and you were telling me about that. Any reflection from outside wouldn't have hit that area where you had, because that door in the back in the kitchen was too far off that any light from out there, from a car or anything, wouldn't have hit that doorway, because the door was over here. The doorway to where she saw the thing poking out was way over here.
Oh wow.
So, and the street was just here with blocked buildings, so it couldn't have been any reflected light from outside.
Well, we had everything shut too, the shades.
Yeah, all the blinds were
pulled
shut.
the
And
blinds.
everything too.
And it seemed
Wow.
too solid that if it was something like a car going by, then there'd be more illumination in the room itself. And this was
Did
almost
anybody
like
else
a
see it
very
that was
solid-
in?
No, I was the only one. But at that time, we were hearing a lot of noise going on in there. And so you saw a lot of us perking up because we were hearing noise in there.
Right.
I saw
Yeah.
that.
The only shadow I saw was up on the third floor. I said something, did anybody see that shadow? And Leo said, well, he saw a shadow come out of the kitchen, but I wasn't at the same angle. I saw it.
See, a shadow coming out of the kitchen is kind of like what you and Max are seeing
Yeah.
coming out of there too. And that was different rotations.
Yeah, I could have sworn that was somebody, but there was nobody else. They were all sitting in the other room.
Yeah.
On a different rotation, I saw somebody get up and go to the restroom, but it wasn't on your rotation.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely a lot of activity at the Ness County Bank Building.
Going back to the third floor, so when we were having the question and answer session with the flashlight, so again I'm asking, are you a little girl, light illuminates, and the group that was there had been there before for vacation and said that they heard the girl's voice. So I asked, are you the one who was talking to them? And I think 7 people out of that group heard a little girl's laugh coming from that hallway area. So,
Third floor?
the third floor again, yeah, out in that hallway.
Because I heard a female sound like a child giggle at me on the second floor the last time we were there, not this event, but the time before, and made me drop everything because it was coming off to my left down the hallway, and no one was there, and you were all upstairs getting cameras ready and setting things up. I heard it, and I ran downstairs thinking somebody got in, broke in. I had the key in my pocket. So.
Well, it stands to reason she may go up and down stairs.
Oh, yeah.
There's no reason.
So I know there's
So
female
to me,
giggling
it's-
at us and stuff like that. I mean, definitely.
So to me, it sounds like the more we investigate this place, the busier it gets every time.
It's getting that way.
You know,
Especially
which is
if,
different.
A guy, when you have a guy and the girl getting hit. She didn't get hit by, but he fell into
Right, he
her.
fell
They
into
both
her.
both names are called out on the ghost box, and then they both fall down. He gets hit and goes flying into her, and they both have the same injury. Which
Wow.
is just weird.
Yeah.
It's a weird coincidence. Doesn't it?
It is. Wow.
You know, and a lot of times I always feel like, okay, you know, a lot of people feel like, you know, they either want attention from telling stories, they're being touched or something like that. But this, you know, it seems like last night there's a lot of people that were, you guys hearing stuff?
I just was saying
I
it's
thought I heard
interesting.
Yeah,
something over that.
Oh,
way.
did
we were
you
just
guys-
listening to you.
No. But yeah, but last night there's so many people that were actually saying, you know, they're being tough from me, both from the very beginning to other people just saying, I feel like somebody's bumping into me or touching me, and then him getting hit.
Yeah, and
It's
Cody
weird.
was sitting there when you and Lee, and I just kind of looked at him like whatever. And now maybe, you know, Cody was sitting next to me when Leo and Jason were doing the, you know, when you guys were introducing everybody.
Right.
And Cody was standing next to me, and he was like, and he kind of looks back, and I go, what? And he goes, it was almost like somebody went behind, right above his kneecaps, and just kind of
Okay.
nudged his legs. And I looked at him like, okay, you right, Cody.
Okay,
You know,
so-
I mean,
To go
Yeah.
on that is the very last time I went down in the basement with a group, you know, nothing was going on when I went down there. It was very toward the end of the night. We were practically wrapping up on rotations and stuff. But I was down there. I was just telling stories. I was telling Talibah stories. I was having them listen to a piece of evidence. And one of the girls down there felt like somebody had gone up behind her and popped her knees, and because she like startled, and she's just like, oh, my knees just like freaking gave out. It felt like somebody came up and copped me.
Sounds like we had a jokester around.
jokester and a
Maybe.
interesting.
Maybe. I don't know.
It's definitely getting.
But with the gentleman and the female, they were emotionally disturbed by it. So that's why I'm like, okay, I believe you because you're pretty shook up by this. And not that I don't believe people, I'm just saying sometimes you can tell by their reaction sometimes if they're being honest. And that's just what I do. I always try to figure out if you're being honest with me or not.
Yeah, the girl looked like.
They were all the five of them were startled by it, but he was very upset, and so was she. She was shaking too. So
I think that's the group. There was a purse left. I think
yeah,
that
they
group,
left their purse.
they just went out. They didn't.
There was a phone this morning too left behind. Remember? Wonder if that was one of theirs.
I don't know.
Like I said, I think they just went right out the door and bye bye.
Yeah.
Okay, I've got one real quick. We go. What? Okay, I remember at like 4:30 in the morning a fog horn going on. Does anybody?
Yes.
Yeah,
What was
yes,
that?
That was.
What was that?
So we're standing in. Yeah, we're sitting there in the main lobby of the bank building, just talking, and I'm standing up. Were you up? You were sitting down, and one of the guests is standing up, and right when it happened, I happened to look over at the guest. She's looking over at me. It was this like loud horn coming right outside the window. The more it went on, I thought, oh crap, is that a tornado warning? I don't know. I'm like, I think there's storms out and about. You know, there's talk.
And I was thinking, is it a fire? Or, you know,
Yeah, it lasted for a few seconds, and it was loud as can be.
Oh, it was so loud.
So
I thought it was like one of those jobs where they have that air horn where they.
exactly. So
And it's and they're
Uh-huh.
ready for
We
work,
all-
that whistle.
we all go outside. Everyone is like already crashing upstairs, and I think you were out in the truck.
I was in the truck
So
Oh, I didn't
Leo,
hear it.
going over evidence.
yeah. So Leo, yeah, sure, with your eyes closed. So Leo goes outside with the guest, and there's a couple of them out there, and Leo finally comes around the corner from outside and goes, found it, air horn. Somebody at, was it 3? No, it was about 4 o'clock, 4:30 in the morning. Somebody took an air horn duct taped it and placed it out there to try and scare us.
Wow.
I'm like, that
Yeah.
took a lot of effort.
Yeah.
That's actually kind of creative.
Well, and they took the duct tape and went really fast, like must have put it on like this side and then real quick because that thing's screaming.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then they
whipped
went
it and then
the
left it.
sideways, tore it off, and set it by the door there, the step.
Well, I put it by
Wow.
the step. They found it back behind, like even further around the corner.
Oh, did they? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was somebody who was out and about at
Wanting to mess
4
around.
in the morning. Come on,
It woke
guys.
me
You
up.
got
Did you
bored.
hear it?
No.
She was in Happy Land. She was.
Wow.
She was in her power nap.
That was loud.
Now, when I did finally wake up, it was probably right 4:45, 4:30. But I did see a gentleman walking in the middle of the street, just not part of our.
Well, that's
at
not
all.
creepy.
Kind of startled me.
But
And
not
then you
enough to
kinda
keep
just-
her awake.
I was awake after that point. I
Oh,
was
were you?
just trying to debate what I was going to do because I thought.
Is it worth jumping out and running to the bank right quick, or should I just take my chances here?
Right.
Big crunch down here.
Right, right. And I kind of lost him because he disappeared behind all the cars. Someone was walking around that time.
They were active last night. There's a lot of cars and stuff driving around all night. Yeah, I heard.
Oh, those semis that keep going
Yeah.
by every 3 minutes.
Mm.
Jeez.
Up there.
It's quiet.
Very quiet.
Dude.
Good time to end it.
Yeah.
Okay, we might cut it a little short just to kind
Yeah.
of end it.
Oh, it's just a
We got
few
3
minutes.
left.
So, anyway, we'll be back here next weekend, next Sunday, hopefully, if we make it through the weekend of Wilson. A little short of a drive.
Yeah.
Make it a little bit
But
more
we
sleep.
cover a lot more land out there than we do at the bank building. Because we're doing 3 locations all in one night. Sold out crowd, so it's going to be a good night. We're going to start that Saturday in the evening, probably about 6 or so, when we'll be all together doing everything.
Yeah. The dinner
Um,
starts at 6 or 6:30,
yeah.
and then
So it'll be a fun
Go from
night.
there.
We're gonna. Are you going?
No, I'm not gonna be able to.
Okay.
I'm until Stephanie has a baby, I'm pretty much out of anything out of town.
Okay.
So
Okay. Damn it! And
I
all our
know.
stuff's out of town.
yeah. So,
Okay.
but
Okay.
I'll be back in the game after the little
It's
one comes,
understandable.
and give me a couple of
After
months
he
to
graduates
readjust.
Well, dang. At least you have the little. You know what it is yet, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I know. It's a girl.
Okay. I'm so tired I can't remember. I'm sorry. I was waiting for you to tell me.
yeah. It's
Yeah,
gonna be a
little
girl, Sophie Bell Norwood. That'll
That's
be her
awesome.
name. So.
Awesome. Well, so
that's awesome.
awesome. Well,
Congratulations.
Yeah, we're excited. Thank you.
That's cool.
That's very cool.
well, this is the Cryptic Heartland podcast. We will sign off for tonight. We'll be back. Hopefully, Leo will be with us and feeling better. But again, it's going to be a long weekend again. So, not sure what our topic will be next weekend, but I'm sure we'll have a lot to talk about with Wilson
Yeah.
the next Sunday. So,
It's gonna be a great time.
until then, check us out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, everything. We're all on it. It's Road Trip Paranormal, Cryptic Heartland, Everyday Legacy Paranormal. We're on there. So check us out. We've got videos, and stay in touch with us.
Yep. We'll see you
All
soon.
right. See you
All
next
right.
week.
Good night.
Bye.